Yo, what up guys, Travic here, and today I want to talk about the changes and upgrades that I've made to the Huntress. Last time we got together and talked, we started doing tier 15 maps, we were cruising through them, and now things have changed. We've refined the tree a little bit, we started pushing into pinnacle boss content, we've managed to kill King of the Mist 0, 1, and 2, and we've overall been progressing the Huntress really nicely. We've seen on the POE ninja side of things, some Huntresses are pushing an insane amount of damage. Both my friends Envy and my friends K are pushing upwards into the 70 and 80,000s on tooltip, and people playing Huntress are completely cruising. Now, if you are considering playing Huntress and you're thinking about playing Huntress and you do not know where to start, my YouTube channel has an amazing amount of Huntress content that showcases the journey that I took to get to where we are today and will really give you a guiding light. We talk about starting in the campaign, we talk about starting to get to mid game, we talk about getting to red tier maps, and then we even talk about a really good budget option that you can use as the player to be able to fund your way through tier 15 maps. Now, Huntress is in a really unique position where we don't know if tomorrow she's going to be nerfed or if she will last to the end of the league. So if you're really considering starting Huntress and you have the time, or even if you want to put a spear on your monk or a spear on anybody, now would probably be a good time to do it, because while GGG says they won't nerf to the end of the league or till next big major update, who really knows? But for now, let's get into what we've done and what's changed. First and foremost, we've changed some of the skills around. We started messing around with a bunch of different things, and we've pretty much decided that we are going to just continue down the route of using cast on crit for now. Getting charges has been a really interesting hurdle to overcome with the Huntress. We've seen some people like Fubgun use Kotokos, we've seen some people only use Electrocute support gem, and we've seen players like me use cast on crit. So there are a lot of viable ways to do it. It just comes down to how you want to do it. For me personally, I think the glove slot is a very viable resource and a very strong resource, both with uniques and rares, that I don't think I personally want to use Kotokos. There's a lot of really cool gloves and some really interesting tech, but I'll leave that to you guys to figure out for now. So for now, we are going to be staying on the cast on crit side of things. Our Huntress, as you see, is pushing over 50,000 sheet damage. Like I mentioned, some of my other friends are pushing well into the 70s and 80,000s, so there's a lot of room to grow, even for myself. Right now, we are on a 6-link lightning spear with Deliberation, Volt, Bullseye, Primal Armaments, and Longshot. Longshot's the one that I'm still like on the fence about. I've tested out Ambush, I've tested out other things. I'm not really too sure what the best course of action for the 6th slot is, but we are using Longshots. My buddy MB is a real huge fan of Ambush, so it depends on what you're doing if you're aiming for more bossing content or more pinnacle content. We are now pairing our lightning spear with Stormlance. Stormlance has been an insane clear of hard to kill rares, map bosses, and pinnacle content, and we are pairing our Stormlance with Scattershot, Blindside, Lightning Infusion, and Close Combat. My goals after recording this video today is to really put my head down and start grinding to buy that last Jeweler's Orb for both Stormlance and Primal Lance, and to upgrade some of my gears so that I could push these damage numbers even higher. We still mess around with Primal Lance. I really like this skill a lot. A lot of you guys have pointed out that Crescendo is not as strong as I think it is, so I will be changing and updating this eventually, but for now we still have Crescendo, Martial Tempo, Exoriate, I can't pronounce that, and Heft. Odds are this is going to be changed in the next couple of days or later today, and if I do change it, I will make updates to the mobalytics for you guys. Do not worry. We're using a cast on crit setup, and this is really important because this is giving us our Sniper's Mark with energy retention, impetus, and overabundance. The reason why we're using Sniper's Mark is when you consume Sniper's Mark, you gain frenzy charges, and this allows us to do all kinds of shenanigans with the frenzy charges. To make this setup here work today, you will need 190 spirit. For those of you who ask me, I have 190 spirit, it doesn't work. Please make sure that you put quality on your cast on crit. It reduces the reservation cost on cast on crit to allow you to fit it into your build. This is very important. If you do not quality your cast on crit, it will not fit and will not work. Now moving along, we have Wind Dancer, which we have with Precision and Pin, Herald of Thunder that we have with Electrocute, Neural Overload, and Innervate. And like I had mentioned earlier, my goal is to fill out these slots today so that I can have a nice 6-link. We're also using Combat Frenzy with Profusion and Clarity. We're using Combat Frenzy so that we can electrocute mobs and gain frenzy charges. I have also been experimenting with Explosive Spear. I think Explosive Spear is really interesting, like really interesting, and it just provides a very unique amount of damage. Also, when it explodes and leaves burning ground, it's just a really interesting skill. It deals a lot of damage, and I'm just still kind of experimenting. I got the idea from looking at the Huntresses on the solo self-found ladder on POE Ninja, actually, and I saw Wadijo was playing with it, and I saw some other solo stuff on Huntresses using it, and I've tried to incorporate it into the build. Right now, I'm testing Fire Infusion, Expedite, and Fire Pen, but like I mentioned, we're going to mess around and see what the best course of action is for Explosive Spear, and see if it becomes a mainstay or not. Lastly, we're using Orb of Storms. I was in Jungrone's stream the other day, and I was watching him play Poison Lightning Spear, and I thought it was really interesting. And he had really cool tech that revolved around the effigy of Cruelty Shield. Critical hits with spells apply 5 stacks of critical weakness. Originally in PoE 0.1, we used critical weakness on Eye of Winter to give us that 100% crit cap chance. Knowing that we could still do that, but we have to jump through a couple of hoops, it has been a fun experiment to play with. Jungrone was using Orb of Storms, Inevitable Crit, Chain, and Inspiration, and he had this only on weapon set 2. So this has been something that I've been messing around with, only used in Pinnacle boss content, and you don't really need it in map bosses. The reason why I'm doing this is if you look at your Lightning Spear, you see that you have a base crit, and then you see you have a crit estimated from hit chance. I think there's some weird stuff going on where, like, if you're like X amount of meters away, your crit chance just starts to tank. So I'm just kind of messing around with Orb of Storms to make sure that that crit is capped. If I see it does something, I'm going to keep it in. If I don't like it, I'm going to take it out. If you're really not a fan of the Orb of Storms setup, you could put in Barrage. I will include a Barrage setup in the mobalytics for you. I think Barrage is a lot of fun, especially for clearing maps. Now, a couple of other things that I forgot to mention. One, we are using Infused Weapon. As soon as I hit level 90, this will go to a 6th link, and I don't know yet what I'm putting in the 6th link, but I'll figure something out later today as we're cruising our way to 90. We have Elemental Focus in here, Concentrated Effect, Magnified Effect, so that we just get some explosions. I don't think these together work very well, so I'm probably going to change these around, and we have Blind. The big thing that we want to take away here is we are using this to blind our enemies to make sure that we crit and hit them a lot harder. I also mentioned earlier that we have Combat Frenzy, and I just want to point out that we're using Combat Frenzy with Electrocute, and the Electrocute's on the Herald of Thunder. Lastly, the thing that I want to point about skill gems is you want to make sure that you add quality to your skill gems. Even if you hold Alt on your skill gem and you don't notice the quality right away on it, you will see the quality as on the other effects. So like Stormlance, for example, it has a secondary Lodge Spear, Frenzy charges, you know, depending on what skill you're looking at, the quality could be on the other side of it. So just something to keep in mind, you know, for future reference, but you do want to quality your gems. It's very important. Our gear is still roughly the same. We have the same huge spear. And like I had mentioned in a different YouTube video yesterday, there is a budget option if you can't afford a good spear. We have a helmet with int crit resistances. We have a body armor with spirit and resistances. We have rings with flat damage, int, and resistances. I would love to upgrade these rings today. That is a big goal of mine, is to upgrade these rings today. We have another ring with flat fizz, rarity, resistances. Our amulet has spirit, int, and resistances. I would love to upgrade this amulet today. Oh my God. Our gloves, I had mentioned earlier, have crit bonus and double resistance life. I found these gloves on the floor. These gloves are insane. These probably are going to be a mainstay until I swap them with some high-end juice or unique gloves. Our belt, just strength and resistance and life. I would eventually like to replace this with ingenuity alongside 2 rings. And then lastly, our boots, our boots are bad. They need to be replaced. There's nothing I can really say about the boots. They have a little bit of chaos resistance and some movement speed and a little bit of dex. The boots drastically need to be upgraded and replaced today. Lastly, we're using Lycoside. I know the shield is expensive. I understand the shield is expensive. It is currently best in slot until we get other gear. You do not need it right away. The video yesterday showcases a tier 15 map where you don't need this, and you can just play the game without it and be fine unless you're pushing into like tier 16, tier 17 maps. Moving right along to our passive tree, you're going to notice some major changes. I've talked to my buddy Hype Pseudo. I've talked to Mr. SirNapsAlot. I've talked to a couple of people, and I've done some research on POE Ninja, and it looks like a lot of Huntresses have been going up north towards the monk side of things, and for good reason. It is just a major buff to damage. So let's talk about what we changed. First and foremost, we dropped this whole crit wheel here. We dropped some accuracy stuff here, and we dropped some accuracy stuff here, and we just kind of cleaned up the pathing a little bit. We gained more crit bonus. We gained penetration. We gained better crit nodes, and we're filling out the last of our crit up here. Odds are once I get better gear, I'll move this and change this into something else. A couple buddies of mine are actually playing with damage from mana and lucidity, and they say that it's a really good defensive layer. So I'll probably eventually in a level or two swap these 2 points out and put them here and just kind of see how it does overall with everything. I also kind of eventually want to move into wild storms for more lightning damage. And there are a couple of things that I really want to experiment with. Another buddy of mine is playing around with Death from Afar, and another buddy is playing around with Stand and Deliver. These are also very viable nodes that you can mess around with. I think Death from Afar is way better and something worth looking into. Now, overall, we get penetration from the node here, and we gain penetration from a bunch of nodes here. I have been informed that penetration is about 50% is what we're aiming to get to. I have 50%. I cap out the remainder of my penetration from a jewel. I did indeed pick up a jewel. I'm looking for it. There's a jewel somewhere. I did indeed pick up a jewel that gives me penetrates lightning resistances to give me that nice round 50%. Overall, the rest of the tree, we just take crit damage here. We take more LA damage here. We're taking magnitude of shock effect here. We gain the ability to maim, skill speed, accuracy, and attack speed. Down here, we have just the whole spear wheel. I'm probably eventually going to finish out the spear wheel so it looks really cool with the point on it. We have moved into the Herald nodes. You guys have convinced me that the Herald nodes are pretty good. I'm still not 100% sold, but we're in on them. We do have this entire crit wheel here. We have a little bit of defenses from this here, both from getting more evasion and doubling the evasion of our body armor. And we did indeed have to take some extra dex nodes. I want to change these. I need to change these. These are not my favorite. I'm going to work on getting boots today that'll allow me to drop these 3 nodes. I did need a bunch of extra dex. I do want to get rid of these. Once I free these nodes up, it'll allow me to take more damage, or like I had mentioned earlier, the lucidity nodes, and just give me just a little bit extra. I'm probably going to get boots as soon as I'm done recording. I'm going to change these 3 nodes out. I might even take Wildstorm first to mess around with, but as soon as I fix my boots, I can fix these 3 nodes. But that's really the changes to the tree. As far as the ascendancy goes, we have critical strikes, penetrate, predatory instincts, which is absolutely crazy, and elemental infusion. One thing I would like to experiment later today or over the next couple of days with is with Mystic Harvest. I've been told this is insanely powerful if you have a little bit of leech, so it's something on my radar to begin messing around with. If you're leveling a Huntress, I started with critical strikes into penetrate, into elemental infusion, into predatory instincts, and that's just the way that I went about it. I'm not sure if there's a better way to go about it, but that's the way that I went about it. Now let's showcase what a map looks like and what you guys can expect. Now let's take this map, let's make it rare. Let's see what's on it. Let's make sure there's nothing that can ruin our day. You know, area of effect, extra fire damage. Let's cool down. We'll throw an exalt on it. We'll throw another exalt on it. The only map modifier that we really don't want to deal with is ailment threshold. That map modifier just completely and utterly ruins our day. Now we're going to run this map here. This map is corrupted. It has a map boss on it. And let's just kind of go into the map and see what happens. Loading. Now zoning into the map, a couple of things. One, corrupted zones take a little bit to render. So if it looks a little sketchy or a little choppy, I apologize. It's just, you know, corrupted zones are a little laggy. But let's just see how a map looks and what we can expect. I purposely picked this map because it has a map boss on it. And I wanted to make sure that we were able to see what a map boss looked like. Because overall, you know, I just wanted to make sure that we have everything set up. You know what to expect going into the maps. And you aren't just thrown off by what single target damage looks like. Because, you know, with rares and everything, it's one thing. But map bosses are another thing. Overall, I think this character is probably going to be one of the best mappers of the league. And it's just something that I really want to, like, showcase and take to the next level, especially for mapping. I think it's just going to be a great way to farm currency. And I am really, really, really excited for it. Let's grab this Exalted Orb. And then let's just keep moving right along. We're going to kill that mob. We're going to come down over here. Kill these guys. That guy's dead too. Make sure we kill that rare. Don't stand in the fire, sir. That would be embarrassing. And then overall, you see just maps in themselves are... they're pretty smooth, man. The only thing that could probably make a mapping experience better is finding a way to get fit in the Roa. You know, I've had the Roa in, I've taken the Roa out, I've had the Roa in, I've taken the Roa out, and sometimes I really like the Roa and sometimes I really don't like the Roa, but But I think the only thing that would make the mapping experience better is maybe, you know, Onslaught, Tailwind, the Roa, stuff like that. Otherwise, you know, we're pretty much cruising. Now let's see if we can find this map boss so that we don't take a whole lot of your time. I believe he's in here. So we should be able to go in here and find him. There he is. There's the checkpoint that we're looking for. Okay. So we get the map boss. We throw our lances. And then just like that, between Storm Lance, Explosive Spear, and Lightning Spear, he's just dead. Now the rest of the map, you can either choose to finish it, you can move on next. But for me personally, when it comes to mapping now, my goal is as follows. I'm going to do maps until I get to a corrupted zone. I'm going to clear and cleanse the corrupted zone. And then from there, I'm going to go to the next corrupted zone. I still have a little bit of ways to go. You see, I don't have all my Atlas points yet. I've been a little bit slow about the Atlas points because I've been working on figuring out the Huntress. I would like to be able to finish up my Atlas points as soon as possible. So that's my plan. I hear cleanse zones are insane. So I really want to, you know, mess around with them a little bit and just kind of see overall how it goes. I also really need to like refine my loot filter at this stage in the league. So that's probably another thing that I'll be working on. So if that's something you want, you know, you can keep an eye out for that. I'll have that information out soon. But overall, I hope that if you do decide to play the Huntress and you like it, you let me know. By all means, please leave a like, a comment, and do all that fun jazz. It really helps the channel out a lot. And if you're looking for more Huntress updates or Path of Exile 2 or fun ARPG content, make sure you turn on the notification bell. It'll keep you informed when there are new updates, both to this and everything else in the future. But for now, friends, I'm gonna go finish out this map. I'm gonna get some loot. I'm gonna push this character even further, and we'll see where we go from here. So long, friends. See you in the next one.